Look at the world around you. Bridges, skyscrapers, even the humble nail. All built with iron, yet all slowly succumbing to rust. Rust is a silent force always at work, reminding us that even our greatest achievements are temporary. We fight this decay, but the battle is never truly won. Yet ancient people knew a secret. They created iron that defied time. Imagine the iron pillar of Delhi, standing for 16 centuries, barely touched by rust. Viking swords, unearthed after 1,000 years, still sharp. These are real, forged from a special kind of iron. Our ancestors understood a forgotten art, a way of working with metal that gave it a resilience we've lost. This is a journey to uncover that secret. The story of bog iron, a material once vital to entire civilizations. We'll discover how its imperfections made it stronger and what we might learn from the wisdom of the past. Bog iron isn't mined from deep veins. It grows in wetlands, almost like a living thing. For centuries it was the main source of iron for cultures across northern Europe, accessible to anyone who knew where to look. Its creation is a collaboration between water, earth and bacteria. Rainwater dissolves iron from rocks, carrying it into bogs. There, iron-eating bacteria cause the iron to solidify, forming nodules over decades. These reddish-brown lumps are bog iron ore, a mix of iron, earth and organic matter. Because it's constantly renewed by nature, ancient people saw bog iron as a sustainable, living resource. They harvested it like a crop, returning generation after generation. Its life cycle was tied to the health of the wetlands. This connection shaped how our ancestors viewed it, not as a dead mineral, but as part of the living world. They respected its origins, understanding that working with nature was key to unlocking its unique properties. This perspective was the first step in creating iron that could endure for centuries. Bog iron's story begins in the quiet, patient work of the earth itself. Finding bog iron was a skill. Iron finders read the land, searching for marshes and slow streams. Certain plants signalled iron-rich soil, but the surest sign was a rainbow sheen on the water's surface. This wasn't oil, but the handiwork of iron-eating bacteria. A simple test. Disturb the film with a stick. If it shattered into flakes, iron was below. Once found, the harvest began, late summer when water was low. Workers waded into the bog, feeling for hard lumps beneath the mud. They pulled out nodules, washed them, and gathered them in baskets. It was muddy, exhausting work, but it connected people directly to their land. Bog iron was not extracted, but gathered. Nature's slow gift, harvested with patience. Each harvest was a renewal, a partnership with the earth. This was the first step in transforming raw nature into enduring tools. The bog iron ore, fresh from the earth, was wet and full of organic matter. Before smelting, it had to be roasted, spread over a great bonfire and left to burn for hours. Roasting drove out water, burned away roots and peat, and changed the ore's colour. The heat made the ore brittle and easy to crush into small pieces. This step was crucial. Dry, uniform ore allowed for better airflow in the furnace. Roasting purified the ore, preparing it for the next transformation. The process was simple, but essential, turning muddy lumps into something ready for the fire. Only then could the real magic of iron-making begin. Roasting was the bridge between earth and forge. The heart of ancient iron-making was the bloomery furnace, a simple clay structure anyone could build. Charcoal and roasted ore were layered inside, then fired up with hand-pumped bellows. The burning charcoal produced carbon monoxide, which stripped oxygen from the ore, turning it into metallic iron. The furnace wasn't hot enough to melt iron completely, so the result was a spongy mass called a bloom. Slag, molten waste, separated from the iron, pooling at the bottom. After hours of heat, the furnace was broken open and the glowing bloom pulled out. Still full of slag, the bloom was hammered on an anvil, squeezing out impurities and compacting the iron. This was the birth of a tool, iron transformed by fire and human hands. The process was laborious, but it created a metal unlike any other. Each bloom was unique, shaped by the land, the ore, and the smith's skill. This was iron-making as both craft and alchemy. From bog to blade, the journey was complete. Here's the paradox. Modern steel is pure, yet it rusts quickly. Ancient bog iron, full of impurities, endures for centuries. The secret lies in what was left behind, phosphorus and slag. Phosphorus, present in bog iron, forms a stable, invisible layer of iron phosphate that protects against rust. Slag, trapped as fine filaments during forging, acts as internal barriers, slowing corrosion. These imperfections made bog iron a composite, strong, resilient, and long-lasting. The bloomery's inefficiency was its genius, preserving the very elements that gave the metal its strength. Modern steel's uniformity makes it vulnerable, while ancient iron's complexity makes it endure. Our ancestors, working with nature's quirks, created a metal that could outlast time. The lesson resilience comes from embracing complexity, not chasing purity. Bog iron's strength was born from its partnership with the earth. In its imperfection, it found immortality. The Vikings mastered bog iron, forging it into the backbone of their civilization. Their longships, held together by thousands of iron rivets, braved the harshest seas thanks to this resilient metal. Every nail and weapon was a testament to the smith's skill and the quality of their local ore. Viking smiths understood their material: hard, brittle iron for sharp edges, softer iron for toughness. Through pattern welding, they combined different irons, creating legendary swords with both strength and flexibility. This was survival engineering, adapting to the variability of bog iron, not fighting it. The Vikings' independence and reach were built on this living metal. Their ironwork was not just craft, but strategy, turning imperfection into advantage. The age of the Vikings was truly an age forged in the patient, resilient iron of the bog. For millennia, bog iron and the bloomery furnace fueled human progress. But as demand soared, the Industrial Revolution changed everything. Massive blast furnaces required vast, concentrated ore. Bog iron couldn't keep up. Mining replaced harvesting. Steel replaced iron. The new goal was purity and uniformity, not partnership with nature. Ancient skills faded, local bloomeries fell silent, and the knowledge of working with living metal was lost. In gaining mass production, we lost the nuanced understanding that made ancient iron so enduring. The age of resilient iron gave way to the age of strong but perishable steel. What was once a craft became an industry. The story of bog iron slipped quietly into history. Today, as we face new challenges, the story of bog iron offers wisdom for the future. It teaches humility. Our ancestors worked with nature, not against it. They built for longevity, not obsolescence, using the best materials in the smartest ways. Bog iron's resilience came from embracing complexity, not erasing it. Are we building for the short term or for generations to come? The secrets to sustainability may lie in forgotten crafts and old materials. Sometimes the answers are not in new inventions, but in the wisdom of the past. The living metal still has stories to tell if we're willing to listen. In the quiet patience of the bog and the hands of a blacksmith, there's a lesson for our future. Perhaps by looking back, we can build a world that endures.